Moscow has experienced what officials describe as the largest Ukrainian drone attack on the Russian capital since the start of the full-scale war. Explosions, fires, and air defense interceptions lit up the skies over and around Moscow, marking another dramatic escalation in the growing drone war between Ukraine and Russia. But why did Ukraine launch such a massive attack? And what does it mean for the future of this conflict? On June 18th and 19th, Ukraine launched a large-scale drone operation targeting Moscow and surrounding regions. Russian authorities reported that hundreds of drones were intercepted across the country, while several managed to reach their targets. According to Russian officials, this was one of the largest drone assaults ever directed at the Russian capital. Among the reported targets was a major oil refinery near Moscow, a facility considered important to Russia's fuel supply network. Fires and damage were reported following the strikes. Videos circulating online appeared to show explosions, smoke rising above industrial facilities, and Russian air defense systems attempting to intercept incoming drones. Russian authorities stated that air defenses shot down a large number of Ukrainian drones before they reached central Moscow. However, some drones reportedly struck infrastructure in and around the region, causing damage and injuries. Russian officials said at least 17 people were injured during the attacks. One of the most significant incidents involved an oil refinery that supplies a substantial portion of fuel used in the Moscow region. Reports indicate that parts of the facility were hit during the operation, leading to fires and disruptions. The attack demonstrated how Ukraine's long-range drone capabilities have evolved, allowing strikes hundreds of kilometers inside Russian territory. For Ukraine, these attacks serve several purposes. First, they put pressure on Russia's energy infrastructure. Oil refineries are critical economic assets and generate revenue that helps fund Russia's military operations. Ukraine has increasingly targeted such facilities throughout the war. Second, the attacks challenge Russia's sense of security. For much of the conflict, Moscow remained largely insulated from the daily realities of war experienced by Ukrainian cities. Drone strikes bring the conflict closer to Russia's political and economic center. And third, these operations demonstrate Ukraine's growing domestic drone industry. Over the past 2 years, drones have become one of the most important weapons in the conflict, allowing relatively low-cost systems to threaten high-value targets deep behind enemy lines. The Kremlin praised the performance of Russian air defense systems, claiming that most incoming drones were intercepted before reaching their intended targets. Russian officials also vowed to continue military operations against Ukraine despite the attack. At the same time, Russia has intensified its own aerial campaign against Ukrainian cities, creating an increasingly dangerous cycle of attacks and retaliation. Both sides are relying heavily on drones, making unmanned warfare one of the defining features of this conflict. The largest drone attack on Moscow is more than just another military operation. It highlights a new reality of modern warfare, where relatively inexpensive drones can reach deep into enemy territory, threaten strategic infrastructure, and reshape the battlefield. As Ukraine and Russia continue to expand their drone capabilities, the skies above both countries are becoming one of the most important fronts in this war. And if recent events are any indication, the drone war is only getting bigger.